Welcome to Tech Brothers with Amir. Today we are going to consider a special scenario in which we get multiple files during the day and night. What we want to do, we want to create a zip file with the date, and then after loading our files we want to add those files to the zip file. This code can be used in multiple packages. So let's say in some of the package you are loading customer file, maybe in other one you are loading sales file, but you want to create or have only one zip file per day. And this code can be added to any package, and after the loading you will be using this code to create a new zip file if it does not exist, and if it does exist then just add the files to it. So we will be learning a lot of stuff. We will be learning how to create package parameters in SSIS package. Then we will be writing some expressions on the variables. We will be learning how to use the Foreach loop to read those or loop through those files from the folder. Then we will learn how to change the .NET framework from 4 to 4.5 in script task. Then we will be adding some references to the assemblies in the script task as well. And finally we'll be creating an empty zip file if it does not exist for the day, and if it does exist for the day then we will be adding the files to it. So we will do a couple of tests once we create the package. Now let's go to the folder. Here I have two files. I have customer files here. So if you can see here, we have ID 2, name Raza, address, and another file I have ID 1 and name Amir, and there is some just fake address. So now on the SQL Server side I have created a table in the sales database called DBO customer, and this table does not have any records. So it doesn't really matter. I just want to load the records so I can show you, but this doesn't really matter. You can use this script for any package. Now come back to the SSDT SQL Server data tools, or to the bids, whatever you are using according to the version of SSIS. Right click on the SSIS packages, new SSIS package, and here as we are going to read the files from some folder, I want to create the variable or parameter. So anytime I need to change the path of the folder, I can just change the value, or if I'm using in the SQL Server agent jobs, I can use the configuration and change the value of this parameter or the variable. So I don't have to come back to the package every time and make changes. So by using configuration we can handle or change or provide the value to the parameters or the variables. So it depends. If you're using old versions, you will be having you will be creating the variables, or even if you are using the new version and you are still doing the package deployment, you are creating the variable because the parameters are not available in that mode. So now I am going to create the parameters. So here we will say input folder, and that's where our files are. So it is going to be string type, and then let me take the path of the input folder. Next parameter what we will be creating, that will be archive path. That's where we want to create the zip file and move the files. Archive folder, archive folder, it is going to be string as well. Let me take the path, archive folder. There are some files sitting there, I'm going to delete them, so I just will have a clean folder. Copy the path, put it here. Now in the next part we will be going to the control flow and bring in the Foreach Loop Container. So inside the Foreach Loop Container, what we will be doing, we will go to collections, then in the enumerator we will select for each file enumerator because we are reading the files. And here instead of using this hard or C:\/ folder, let's provide the value by using the parameter. So here I'm going to use the package parameter, go to directory and map that to your input folder. If you are using variable, so you will be using variable here. Hit OK. Now read the file name and extension. So we can use that here. There are multiple ways to do that. You could have read the whole path, but everybody has their own choices, so I'm going to go whatever I have it. So this is going to read the file name and extension, and on each of the iteration it will have a new file name and iteration extension. Now let's bring the data flow task here, and inside the data flow task we will be loading that file. So let's bring flat file source, as we are reading from the flat files here. Let's make a connection, browse to the file, select the file, open it, and make changes if your file does not have the same setting what my file has. My file is comma delimited file, and you can see that is a column delimited is comma as well. So here we have the columns coming correct. Advanced, go to ID, change the string to the integer, because ID is integer, and for the name its output column width is 50. I'm going to change to 100, and this one I'm going to change to 100 as well. I simply could have just go and perform the zip part of that, but that doesn't tell so many things, because sometime a person, he's learning SSIS and he want to know all the way a complete package. So that's why I always build the complete packages anybody can follow, and then create their own packages. Go to the destination now, OLEDB destination, and here we will be using the sales database. That's where our table is. Now we have a customer table here. Select the customer table, go to mapping. Everything looks correct as the name matches on the both sides, so it took it automatically. If the name would be different, then we have to change or select by ourselves by using the drop down. We are fine here. Now if you see that what we have done in the flat file connection manager, we have pointed to the one file, and it will be changing when for each loop is going to iterate or loop through. The file name will change. So let's come back in flat file connection manager and make use of that file name variable. So it is common connection string, and in the connection string we are building that connection string by using input folder plus the actual file name. So that's how this will return the complete path for that file. So every time we will get that file name, it will be changed here, and that's how that file will be loaded. Now we are all set. This package can go ahead, loop, and then load the files. That's great. Next part, what we want to do, we want to create a zip file per day. So let's create another variable and build some expressions, so we can create a complete path for that zip file with date. So we can call it let me see what I have here. Actually I did so we called it archive full path. So that's what the variable I have created in. I will show you this script once we'll go to this expressions and everything. The same thing what I'm doing here, I'm trying to build a complete path. So this will be combination of archive path / today's date. That's all I'm doing. This can be done in script task as well. So but I decided not to do in script task, and I'm creating a variable and then writing an expression on top of this one to create that complete path for the zip file for each of the day. So here, go to expressions. In the expressions we have archive folder path, so we took it. Next part, we need to add the date to it, and how I'm going to do it. So we will say get date. Get date is a function that can be used to get the date and time. Now if I will concatenate this one, it will throw error because get date is returning me date and time, and this is the string, so it cannot be concatenated. So I have to cast it. So I will be using dt_wstr, that's nvarchar, and I'm going to use 30 here. So that's the length. So I need only these first 10 characters. That's the date part, so I don't care about the time part. So let me use a substring here. and in the substring I'm gonna say 1,10. So we are all good. Instead of this hyphen, I can change this to the underscore if you want, or I can change with the nothing. So I can have year, month and date as it is. So we can use a replace function here, and then go ahead and put the comma and then put double quotes, and we are looking for hyphen, double quotes, then comma, and put whatever you want. You can put double underscore, or let's put underscore for now, and we have double quotes, and then close parentheses. So we have created this date. Now the last part is left. We will be adding .zip. So .zip is the extension. So we are all good here. So this is a complete path for the zip file. So if we will check always if this file does exist, we don't have to do it. If it does not exist, our package will create it for the day. Hit OK. Now bring the script task here, and inside the script task we are going to use a few of the variables and parameters. So go to the read only variables, and here you will be selecting such as file name, so archive full path that we need, and then we will be selecting file name that we need, and then we have archive folder that we need, and we can have input folder as well. So this these parameters or variables you will select, and we will make use of them inside the package, inside the script task. Yes, they are in this inside the package as well. So hit OK. Now I'm using C# here. You can go ahead and use Visual Basic, whatever you like and what you feel comfortable. Edit script. Once you edit it, it will open a window, and here I'm gonna copy this code and we will paste it there, and then we will walk through. Before even I go ahead and paste the script here, there are a few things we need to do, as we will be using some methods from some of the classes, and those classes are available in assembly, such as system.io compression.file system. So we have to add actually change the .NET framework from 4 to 4.5. Those assemblies are only available in 4.5 .NET framework. So hit on the solution, go to the options. Here we will change to the .NET framework 4.5, save it, fine. Next we need to add some reference. So click on the references, add reference, and here we will be selecting those assemblies. Now you can see that is .NET framework 4.5. that's what we are targeting, and here we will be using system.io. Let me see where it is. Start with system.io, so we can use these. Most of the part we will be getting from system.io.compression.file system assembly, but I'm gonna go ahead and add this assembly as well. If there is a function, we might need to use it, but I don't think so. So hit OK. We are all good. Now come back to the namespaces part, and we will be adding the namespace. We will say system using system.io.compression, so that we are adding. Next I'm going to copy the script and bring it here, so you can see what exactly we are doing step by step. Now paste it in the main. You can delete this part, and then we can paste it here. And you see there are some underlined red lines here, and saying you are missing some assemblies. So I know that this is a file stream and we are dealing with files, so I will be adding one more. We will send using system.io. so by using that one, we will be able to use the classes and methods. So come here and take a look. First of all, I'm declaring local variables, so I'm saying string zip file. Okay, so that's the complete path that we have built by using the expression. So I'm using a user, that's a variable, and then archive full path. So that's the name of that. So we are setting the value of zip file local variable by using the SSIS package variable. Next I'm saying archive folder, and that's equal to the $package : archive folder. So this is the path for the archive folder. So that's what I'm using it here, and there is no much difference here. If this will be variable, you will be just using the user instead of $package, and if you are using the project level parameter, you will be saying $project. So for the package and project level parameter, you will have $. Otherwise for the variables, you will have user here. Rest of that dts.variables will stay as it is. So nothing changed. And here the file name is equal to the file name variable that we have already know that we have set or created in the Foreach Loop Container. Next I'm building input full path. So we have the input folder, and then we have file name, and we can add them together, and that will give us input full path. So I have this dts.variables $package input folder, and then this file name what we have set here, I'm using it. Instead of pasting this whole thing here, I'm just using the variable I have created here and set the value already. So I'm making use of that. Next we are checking if zip file already exists for the same day, just add the files to it. And we are saying if file that exists, we are checking the zip file. If does exist, we will send a message. I can just let's say leave this one for now, testing purpose. You can always comment by putting these backslashes, but leave for now. And then if the file exists, fine. We are coming here using zip archive. That's a class from the system.io.compression assembly, and actually it will be from so it will be a class from system.io.compression dot file system assembly. I don't know exactly, but in Microsoft I was reading actually system.io.compression dot file system has the class, so maybe this is the class. And here even we have in the namespace we did not say system.io.compression dot file system. This is the way we are using actually that assembly. So if you are using that system.io.compression dot file system assembly, you will be using this namespace. So it doesn't really matter, who cares, as long as it's work. So we are using this class, and then we are saying zip file dot open. So open the zip file. This is the path of that zip file, and then for the update. So we know that okay, the file does exist already. We have checked with the if condition. Then we are opening the zip file, and then we are adding the file to it. So we are saying using this method create entry from file, and we have to provide the input file path. So this is a complete path of our input file, and here whatever the name we want to use or put in that file. So I'm using the same name of source file, whatever we have on the source file, that's the same name I'm using it. So if you want to add something to it, you can have different name, maybe underscore datetime or something, that will work for you. Next, if the zip file does not exist, so you will be checking with the else. So we have checked if does exist, fine, do this. If not exist, then you come here var file stream. We are adding or creating actually new zip file. So we'll say new file stream zip file mode dot create. So by using this one, we are creating a new zip file. Once the file is created, we will be using the same code what we have used here, and then we will be adding the file to the zip file. So that's it. So let's save it, build it. Long video, huh? Close it. And now what we are going to do, we are going to run the package. Save it. It should be loading those files here in this table, and then it should be adding to this zip file, but a zip file with the date should be created. So let's run this one. So it is saying file does not exist. Remember we had the message box which used in the script task, so we know that file does not exist in the archive. Fine, so go ahead and then say zip file does exist. So next time when it is running the second file, it ran the first file, it loaded the first file, and next time when it is running, it is saying, oh okay, zip file does exist, I don't need to create it again. So it will be just adding those files here. If I open it, the both files are here. Now this is great. If you are running for any other package, you can use the same script and in the script task, and that's how it will keep checking if the zip file does exist for that day. It will add the files. If it does not exist, it will create and add the file to the zip file. Now let's go back here. This is what I was talking about. I was thinking like, okay, these zip files are here. These source files are still here. We did not delete them. So there are multiple ways to do it. You can go ahead and the script task, as the files are already zipped, why not to delete them? So after that we can go ahead and delete them. I'm going to add one line of code here to delete them. So once the file is added, fine, and then we can say file dot delete, and here I will say input file path. That's a complete path. So this is a line that will delete the file. So if I can go copy this one as also paste it here, as now we are all good. It will check if the zip file exists. Fine, it is going to add the file and then delete the file from the source. And if the zip file does not exist, it is going to create the zip file, then add our file to it, and then delete the source file. So that's great. Now let's go and take a look what happened. Run the package. Okay, zip file does exist already, we know that. Okay, this does exist already, fine. And now we can go ahead and check the record. Now it should have 4 records because it loaded new records again. So that's great. All the files loaded. We should go to the input folder. The files are deleted. Let's go to the archive and check the zip. See, it did not create a new zip because today is the same date, and the zip file does exist already. So it just added those files to it. So now open the file, zip file, and as you can see, the files even have the same name, but they are added to the zip file. So that's how it's going to work. Good luck. And the code, whatever I have used in this video, that will be available on the blog spot, and you can go to description and check that out. Also check out the link in the description for the full SSIS tutorial, and you can follow from there step by step. We have around 200 videos now in the tutorial for SSIS, and check out other tutorial as well for DBA or Team Foundation Server and AX and whatnot. So thanks very much, and I will see you in the next video.